Right, okay, good afternoon. My name's Doug. I'll be your instructor this afternoon. Welcome to Go Ape. Can I just check, has everybody read and signed the disclaimer before we go any further? Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to get you into some harnesses first. The way you put the harnesses on, if you step both legs through the big loop at the front, 1 foot through each of the small loops, keep the green bit and all the lines at the front, pull it up nice and high, and I or one of my colleagues will come round and tighten them up for you. Okay.
Them here,
yeah, if you just pop them on here, yeah. If you want to just step in a bit more room. Okay. If I could perhaps just grab everybody's attention whilst my colleagues are harnessing you up. Sorry, if I could just grab everybody's attention. Okay, I'm just going to take you through the safety equipment that you've got. Don't worry if it's not there at the moment, it will be there once my colleagues have actually harnessed you up. First thing you'll notice, you've got two safety lines, one slightly longer than the other, and they are colour coded, and the reason should become obvious in a moment. With the carabiners, if you've not used those before, the way they work, you just pull the little barrel down, pull the arm back, and to let it shut, just let it flick back. Sometimes they don't go all the way back, they get a bit lazy. If you see this one hasn't gone all the way, if that happens, just give it a little tap with your fingers to actually shut it all the way. Always make sure that that clip's shut. You've also got this blue pulley, and you'll use your blue carabiner with the blue pulley when you're on the course. When you're not using your pulley, you've actually got a little tab just up the centre of your harness, and you can actually just put it through your pulley and just pop it shut, and we call that a pulley park. And then the other thing you've actually got in your harness in the middle is a D-shaped central attachment point, which is coloured green, and you'll use green hooks with that on the course when you're going around the course. There's also a whistle. I'll explain a little bit about that in a moment. But if you've had your harnesses connected and put on by an instructor, if you'd like to make your way over to the tree and just follow the little bit of self-teach to go around as you go around the tree. Connect yourselves on. I'm here to ask questions. See if you can work it out for yourselves. And in about 5 minutes, I'll take everybody through that again, with the red one trailing behind. And you're always staying attached with one line or the other. Now you can make your way to the next crossing, and there'll be a sign there to help you there. And the pulley just drops over the safety cable. Now feed the carabiner through the pulley, the two holes at the bottom. Yeah, and then your red safety line comes along and goes onto the safety crossing line. Yeah, that's it. And that's it. And then you make your way up there, and there's another sign, give you a clue at the other end. Just make sure your red carabiners clip shut there. So always check your carabiners, and then you hold all three lines when you're ready to swing. So all three of those lines, just like that. Yeah, no, just hold the lines, not the metal. That's it, and that's what you do when you swing, and then it's reverse order to take them off.
How do you tie this bit?
Is there a button on the right side? Yeah.
And Doug to the cabins, safety brief to 17.
Yep, 17, that's correct.
Before we go any further, I do need to remind you about to take part in a high-risk activity. By following the safety rules and advice, you greatly reduce that risk. Failure to follow the safety rules and advice may lead to serious or fatal injury. Once you leave the training site, you're no longer under the direct supervision of an instructor. You will be responsible for the supervision of your own safety, and also for that of any under 16-year-olds that you've signed for. And that means that those under 16-year-olds must be no more than one crossing away from you at any time. If anybody's not comfortable accepting that level of responsibility, then please make your way back to the cabin and we'll give you a full refund. Everybody happy with that? Okay, just to remind you, you've had your harnesses fitted by an instructor. If they should slip or move at all, please don't go any further on the course. You've got this little pouch with a whistle, please don't blow it now, but if you think your harness has slipped, give it a blow. One of the instructors will come along, they'll come up onto the course and actually adjust it for you to make sure everything's okay. So you've all had a chance to have a trial of the system. I'm going to take you through it all again so everybody's totally clear on it. So today the most important safety rule is that we always stay attached, and we always stay attached with our safety lines. We stay attached to these red safety cables around the tree and the steel cables that are the crossings between the trees with the red buffers on the end. So when you put your safety lines on, always make sure that they go on and that the carabiners have clipped shut. If they haven't clipped shut, just give them a little tap with your finger to get them in fully. Then when you're ready to go over the crossing, you get your pulley out pop it onto the crossing line, make sure it runs nice and freely, and then one at a time, remember it is only one at a time, move your safety lines through, and again just make sure that carabiner has clipped shut. And then you get your red carabiner and it goes on the cable between the pulley and the buffer, and then you make your way across the crossing to the far side. And again, remembering that safety rule of always staying attached, one at a time, move your safety lines from the crossing cable to the red cable around the tree. When you're coming around the course, you will come across these green hooks from time to time. They'll be for the ladders and the Tarzan swing. If any of you haven't worked out the Tarzan swing, you can just see the sign here. You start off on a platform when you're connected on fully, and you swing across into a cargo net and climb up the far side. So, as it's a green hook, I'll just pop my pulley away in its pulley park. And then the first thing to do is to connect the green hook to your green central attachment point. And then again, one at a time, move your safety lines up to this red pear-shaped ring, making sure your carabiners have clipped shut. Excuse me. When you're ready to go across in the Tarzan swing, the important thing is you just hold on to all three safety lines. Never hold on to any of the metal, because that increases the risk of injury. So when you're ready, stay nice and relaxed, and you swing across into the cargo net on the far side. Don't try and grab hold of it for contact first time. Just let yourself bounce out. When you come back the second time, then grab hold of the cargo net, climb up the cargo net to the platform. When you get to the platform, there will be a red safety line. When you get there, one at a time, move your safety lines onto the red ring around the tree, with your making sure your carabiners clip shut and your green hook coming off last. Everybody happy with that? Any questions on that? Okay, I'm not expecting you to have any problems out on the course. There are instructors patrolling, so if you've got any issues, you can always attract one of the instructors who's patrolling. You could send somebody back to the cabin. If you have an emergency, you have, as I say, got this little pouch with a whistle in. If you give 5 blasts on that, and keep repeating that until an instructor comes there, but you know, again, just for emergencies. But if everybody's happy, then we'll head up to the first site and get you onto the course. Okay, let's head up there then.
Welcome to site 1 of 5. Slightly different to the rest of the sites. I promise you it does get a bit higher, a bit more exciting. All right, just another little training site for you here, just to make sure you feel confident before we send you up in the trees. Over there, guys, is site 2. You can see with a big 2 on the gate. Like the rest of the sites, they're all fenced off. Okay, to get into each of those fences, you're going to come to a stockade with a combination lock on it. All right, the code today is 132. 1 is at the top and 5 is at the bottom. Pop in the code, turn it to the right and it will let you in. If you make an error, just turn it to the left, it will clear it and start again. Please make sure you shut the gates behind you guys, so those who aren't trained by Go 8 can't get up into the trees, all right? When you come into each site, you're going to come to a rope ladder and a stop fall system. It is very similar to the Tarzan swing. You've got that green carabiner again. That's going to go straight onto your green attachment point. First one to go on and the last one to come off. Your safety lines are then going to attach to this little silver loop at the top here. When you pop those through, guys, as I said before, just double check that the carabiners are closed, all right? Once you're happy, you can head up the ladder. Cool, and once you're at the top, again, always stay attached. So you're going to unattach from the stop fall system, move one carabiner at a time, so you're always attached, and then that green one comes off last, all right? Cool, so when you get to each crossing, guys, there's going to be a little sign like this one up here. Gives you the name of the crossing, a level of difficulty, a bit of advice on how to cross, and there's a little bit of a reminder on how to attach in case you do forget, all right? So you're going to need your pulley again. So pop that one on the wire and your blue carabiners going through it. Once that one's closed, you can then move the red one and pop that on behind. At this point, guys, you can pop that red carabiner on top of the pulley, just a little piggyback, and it makes your ride a little bit smoother, all right? And then you can make your way out onto the crossing. Anyone feeling nervous of the heights at all today? No, you're all good? Yeah, cool. Just a little bit of advice, guys, just in case you do get a little bit wobbly once you're up there. Main thing, try not to look down. Focus on a nice high point in the trees in front of you or on the platform in front of you. If you do get a little bit nervous or you sort of fancy a rest, you can just lean back in your harness like I am now. And if you do happen to sort of slip off one of the crossings, worst thing that will happen is you're just going to have a little swing in your harness, all right? So I'm going to get all of you guys to have a little go at sitting in your harness on this course, just so you trust your harnesses a bit more before we pop you up at height, all right? If this does happen, you've got a couple of options. You can either grab something around you like a handrail or the wire below, pull yourself along, or a nice wide stretch and just pull yourself back up, all right? Cool, and then at your next platform, again, always stay attached. So you're going to unattach from the wire, move one carabiner at a time onto that red loop. Just remember to hold that pulley when you take the blue one out, all right? Cool, Hana is going to be my volunteer. Cool, so what Hana is attaching onto, guys, is called a stop fall. It does what it says on the tin and it's going to stop you from falling. It works like a car seat belt, so any sudden movement will cause it to lock off, all right? So that includes sort of falling down the ladder, it will lock off. But if you also go up the ladder a little bit too quickly, it might stop you. If that does happen, just come back down a couple of rungs on the ladder or pull down on the side of the rope that you are attached to, all right? When you're on the ground, pulling that back down to you, just pull it down nice and smoothly, all right? Awesome. Cool. So whilst Hannah is doing that, guys, just got a couple questions for you, all right? We are both currently standing on platforms. How many people are allowed on a platform at one time? 3. 3 people are allowed on a platform. How many people are allowed on a crossing? 1. Awesome. Yeah, so that's 3 to a platform, guys, 1 to a crossing. So zip wires, there is one at the end of every site and it brings you back down to the forest floor. It will bring you into the landing site at about running speed, facing either forwards, backwards or sideways. Just relax and don't try and turn yourself around, okay? Attaching onto a zip wire is the same as a normal crossing, but the first thing you need to do when you get to one is just double check that the landing site is completely clear and there's no one still attached to it. If you can't see the landing site, then you don't go off the platform, all right, guys? So if you want to attach on for me, on your way down the zip wire, guys, you need to hold on to your short blue safety line only. You want to keep your head and your hands away from any of the metal equipment and make sure you keep your legs and your feet downwards at all times, all right? Awesome. So when you go into the landing site, as I said, either forwards, backwards or sideways, just relax. Don't try and turn yourselves around. When you're going in forwards, start running in the air and you'll run to a stop and land on your feet. Sideways or backwards, drag your heels along the wood chip. When you get to the bottom, just mind your head to one side, unattach as quickly as possible and just move out the way, all right? Those of you that have signed for someone, the adult does need to go down the zip wire last, so you can double check that the child is attached on all good before they go off, all right? Any questions? No. Cool, so holding on to the short blue safety line, you're good to go. So start running. Awesome, round of applause please, guys. Cool, okay guys, so as Hannah did, going in forward, start to run sideways or backwards, just drag your heels, all right? Has anyone got any questions for me? Are you all happy with the instructions you've received? Awesome, I have got a few final questions for you guys. On the Tarzan swings, how many lines are you gonna hold on to? 3. All 3, perfect. On at the zip wire, if you're going in sideways, what are you gonna do with your feet? Drag your heels on the zip wires, all right? And last but not least, guys, nice and loud, what is the golden rule for today? Cool, we'll try that again. What's the golden rule for today, guys? Always stay attached, perfect. Awesome, if you want to head on up. So just going to get you guys all to come up sort of one by one, have a little seat and a swing in your harness.
I paid £30. Yeah, can you tell them to start going up now, yeah? Both of them. Huh? Both? Yeah.
If sir to cabin, I just want to know if I can get a monitor on site too, please.